Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn about caching API response using PHP and JSON. In order to teach you the caching method, I'm going to create a new folder under the exam folder. Go to the exam folder in C and under the htdoc create a new folder. Name caching. The folder name is caching, and now we are going to the editor and opening the project folder. Under the file, click on open folder, then choose a folder, then select the folder. Under the folder, I'm going to create a new file called index.php, and now I'm going to write the program for caching. And before we write the program, you have to create a database connection establishment. For that, we can create one more PHP page called config.php, and inside the config page I'm going to write the PHP program to make database connection establishment. Dollar connection is equal to new MySQLi. So we have to specify the server, so here it's localhost, and the username will be root, and the password here it's gonna be empty, and the database that I'm choosing is gonna be database. It's the same database. The name of the database is database. Okay, so database, and if dollar connection is connect underscore error, need to die the database connection failed. And need to specify the reason for the connection error. So the config page is okay now, and we can include the config.php page inside the index page. Now we need to write the program to get the data from the database. For that, I'm using the prepared statement. $query is equal to $connection. It will make database connection establishment. Then the prepare query. Then we need to get the query. For that, I'm going to the database and click the SQL, then select the star from blog post, then pasting the query. Then I'm going to execute the query. Executing the query, then get the result from the query. $query get result. Now we can print the result. $query result, and save the file. Now go to the folder, and we can see it currently fetched some data from the database, and field count is 4 and nums row is 4. So we want to get the data from the database. For that we can use the while program. Okay, while loop, while $row is equal to $query result fetch assoc. Okay, then in the loop write the, we can use the $row to get the data. So I'm just echoing one result, row is equal to what are the row names, blog posts, title. I'm just getting the title. Saving the file again, then proving the result. So the connection to the database and the results are getting successfully. Now I'm going to define an array. For that, data is equal to array. Now we defined an array, and we are going to store the data from the database to the array. $data, we have to put square bracket and call the $row to get the data from the database, and we can use the JSON encode to print the data. JSON encode, then call the array and save the file. Now we can go to the page and see the data is here. We can do one thing, we can put a header, content, type, application /JSON, and save the file again and go to the page and reload it. So the file format is now in JSON format. Okay, so every time when I reload this page, it will make a connection to the database and get the data from the database. Okay, so it's not a good method if the data is static and will not change every time. Okay, so what we are going to do is gonna save the file at the first run to our directory. We will create one directory and we'll save this data to the directory, and we'll call the data. If I reload the page again after we create the directory inside the project folder, and we will save the data to that folder, the JSON data to the folder. Every time when I repeatedly call the data, it will get the data from the directory instead of getting the data from the database. So I will show you how to do that. Now we need to go to the project folder and create a new folder called temp. On this folder we are going to store the data at the first page. Okay, now we need to go to the programming and define the path for the folder. For that, use cache file is equal to temp, the folder name temp, then need to put a directory separator, directory separator, then the file name. Here I'm writing the temp.json is a file name with the file with the cache file will store with this name. Okay, now I'm going to save the encoded data to a new variable called $JSON is equal to the encoded data. So the data from the database is now stored to JSON with the JSON encode method. Okay, now I'm going to create one more variable called fh is equal to fopen. It will open the path of the folder. For that we can use the cache file, so it will define the path, and we can use the write method here. So the w will write to the file location. Okay, now we can write fwrite bracket $fh. so by calling the fh we will get the location, and we can know what method whether we need to use. Here we are using the writing method, so now I am writing the JSON encoded data to the folder location. Okay, so f close, the thing is over now. So we are going to close the function fh, and we can simply echo the $JSON file. Okay, by calling the JSON variable. Now save the file and go to the browser and reload it. So we will get the same data now, but we can go to the folder, and under the temp folder where we are storing the cache file, we can see a new file is created. We can simply open with our Visual Code Editor. We can see the data from the database is now stored to this temp.json file. Okay, so the caching is created. Now we are going to write an if condition. If file exists $cache file, if this cache file location is existed, and if there is any file, this condition will be opened. And under the condition we can define a variable fh is equal to fopen, and define the location again, and call the method to read the file. Okay, so this function will read the file. Okay, so now we need to get the created time of this file, that means the temp.json file. We can get the created time by using this method, file underscore created underscore time is equal to start to time date is file time of the cache file. Okay, so now we got the time of the file when it's get created. Okay, so we need to get the current time. For that, equal to start to time and call date function again, same So we have the current time. Now we need to differentiate the current time and the time when the file is created. Okay, so for that I'm going to create an variable with interval is equal to abs. It's a function dollar current time minus dollar file created time. So we get the difference and we can store them to a minute variable called round. We can round the value that we get through the interval variable, interval /60. So in the minute variable we can get the exact time when it's created and what is the current time, and like if I created if the file is created few minutes ago, then we can set an interval and we can do the caching after each minute or each hour, like that. Okay, I will show you. If dollar minutes greater than 1, f close dollar fh and dollar unlink, sorry, not dollar unlink the cache file. Okay, else echo file get contents. We can define the folder temp / temp dot json and save the file. If the file is not existed, then we can run this program. Okay, so what this program will do, like if the temp file is existed on the cache file location, then it will go to this condition, if condition, and will open the file in the cache file and get the time of the file when it's get created, and we created a variable to get the current time, and it will differentiate the current time and the time when the file is created, and will convert those time to minutes, and we will put a condition like if the file is created 1 minute ago, then we need to delete the file from the temp folder. If the temp.json file is older than 1 minute, then it will call the else condition, will echo the file by using the file get file underscore get content. Okay, so now we can go to the browser and run the program. Okay, reload the page, and we got some error here at the line 12. Okay, go to the 12 lane, and yeah, there's no a here. Also we put a dollar before the date function, also file m, there will be a m here. Now reload the page. So the caching is working now. Now the data is loading from the temp folder. If we reload the page, it will again get the data from the temp folder instead of getting the data from the database. So we can test it by going to the folder, and the temp file is created now. you can delete the temp file and reload the page. Now the temp file is again created there because the file is not existed there, so the else condition will work and we'll get the data from the database, and it will create the temp file and show it to the temp folder. And the next time when the same program run, the file is existed there, so it will go to the if condition and we'll check the time of file created and the current time, and differentiate the time. And if the file is created and it's older than 1 minute, then it will delete the file from the temp folder, and if it is not, we'll work the else condition and get the data from the temp folder. So by using this method we can avoid too many connections to the database, and we can cache our JSON API's response like this. Thank you for watching the video.